Next tie about to get underway here at table 2, and it involves Spain and Brazil. It'll be doubles up first of all. Brazilian boys gather arm in arm. It's a team competition. So both Spain and Brazil in this particular tie able to draw on a team of 3 to choose their players from. It'll be Alvaro, VALERA and Jordi Morales for Spain up against Paulo SALMIN and Luiz GUARNIERI MANARA for Brazil. Jeffrey Wong, one of our 2 officials in this one, along with Atul Dubey of India. So they've picked their teams, and we'll have a warm-up shortly. So Alvaro, VALERA, MUNOZ, VARGAS, Jordi, Morales, GARCIA, Paulo SALMIN, and yes, the names can be a bit of a problem for fitting them in on the screen if you've got enough of them. Luiz, Filipe, GUARNIERI, MANARA alongside Paulo SALMIN in this doubles. First up, the tie between Spain and Brazil. Jordi Morales in singles, finished in 4th place. He's a class 7. Alvaro VALERA was a runner-up, so he's a silver medalist already in class 6. So that's a good omen for the Spanish team with VALERA in such good form. Now GUARNIERI MANARA, who's a class 8, he didn't get through to the medal round in his singles. Paulo SALMIN likewise, he's a class 7, MANARA class 8. So VALERA and Morales against SALMIN and GUARNIERI. SALMIN nearest the camera, his teammate Luiz GUARNIERI. the man not involved in the doubles for Brazil is Israel Pereira STROH, who finished with a silver medal in his Class 7 singles match. That was a feisty affair. His British opponent at one stage, fairly early on in the match, accused him of cheating, and that the mood didn't get a lot better. But it was STROH who finished with the silver, though. Losing to William Bailey in the gold medal match, 3-1. But here we go. Doubles first up for Brazil and Spain. So Morales to receive. So just a little discussion with the umpire. SALMIN being told to make sure the ball is thrown high enough. And we do see it from the opposing end once the racket and ball come into contact. So there's a couple of things to consider when serving issues are raised. Very good response there from Guarnieri. STROH on the left, silver medalist from singles. That one from VALERA just long. And it's quite quickly a 4-1 lead for Brazil. Got slightly the stronger combination on classification. SALMIN a 7 and Guarnieri an 8. Morales a 7 for Spain, VALERA a 6. VALERA to serve. Whoa, nearly crashing out of the court goes SALMIN. I think he was a bit put off by MANARA trying to stop the ball. A bit of confusion over on that side about how to deal with this. Also trying to keep out of the way, but I don't think he thought that SALMIN was no chance to get to the ball. SALMIN kept chasing after it. Guarnieri had given up. Long from Guarnieri. SALMIN serves. Little signal under the table from Morales about how he's going to serve this. It's a bit of information to his teammate about what he wants to do. And 6-all. Time to towel off just briefly. Spain trailed early in this one. Got back on terms now. Opening game. Spain and Brazil doubles. Morales just not able to get there. Serve from VALERA. Best of 5 games, first to 11 and win by 2. It's the usual format here at these Paralympic Games 2016 in Rio. And the Brazil cheer goes up, but that's a point to Spain and 8-all. SALMIN to serve for Brazil. Nicely ripped across the table by GUARNIERI. Every effort being made by Paulo SALMIN there. Dives to the floor, but 9-all. Morales to serve. There's a signal. Let's see what that means. Because the server must, in doubles, serve to the diagonally opposite square. And Spain have the opportunity there. Brazil see off the game point. Oh, a little bit of luck from Spain, and both VALERA and Morales raise their hand in apology. Another game point for Spain. VALERA to serve to GUARNIERI. And there is the opening game to Spain, 12-10. You see that SALMIN actually stepped across to take that. For Brazil, but it was Spain's opening game. Good tight one, 12-10.
Lo sacamos un poco de la mesa, pero después para volver este paralelo, ¿vale? Estamos bien, estamos jugando muy bien, ¿vale? Sí, vigilar que tira. Se empurrar o pino e pegar de surpresa aqui também. As coisas não são só, tem que pensar agora, tá? Vamos lá, vamos lá. Tá bom o jogo, tá bom?
Second game. team competition, men's doubles. Brazil bottom of screen. Spain's SALMIN and Luiz Manara. Sorry, Brazil's SALMIN and Manara dropped the first game 12-10. Spain in the red shirts, Alvaro VALERA and Jordi Morales. Trailed early. Came back strongly. Now VALERA just unable to get across. Subtle angle from SALMIN. SALMIN will serve now. Morales unhappy. 3-1 Brazil. Alvaro VALERA to serve. Oh, great chop from VALERA. Put plenty of work on the ball. Three all, second game. Spain took the first 12-10 in just under 7 minutes. Luiz Guarnieri Manara. Serve for Brazil. There's the one lefty out there. Not much that Morales could do about that. Off the tip of the racket. Oh, well executed. Paulo SALMIN is quick to it and got plenty on it. And Brazil 6-3. Morales. Too long from Spain. Handy lead now for Brazil. Couple of big winners hit recently by Paulo SALMIN. There's another one. Looping forehand. And then probably makes an error on the serve. 12 points played, 8-4 Brazil. Spain not taking the opportunity for a tail down, really. Swing and a miss from Luiz Manara. VALERA gives the signal. SALMIN back in position. SALMIN is offering some of each at the moment. Some unplayable returns and a couple of errors. His partner's racket maybe just in his eye line there too. So Brazil close to closing out this second game. Spain the first, but no, there's Excellent shot from Morales. Straight into the body. Morales serves. Gets them back to 8-9. And the timeout called.
Do VALERA, entendeu? Pode colocar do meio pro back aqui para encostar na mesa depois, tá? Tá? Vamos lá, pô, vamos fazer carga positiva, estamos ganhando o jogo, pô, tá? Ganhando 7 aí, certo? Tá? Capricha no só. Vamos jogar, vamos deixar ele arriscar agora um pouco mais, tá? Estamos com controle, mas vamos.
Ahora al final está bien. Vamos, va, vamos.
So the Spanish boys sent back to the table with the customary vamos. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Brazil, for their part, late in the second game, have got the wobbles at the wrong moment. They were well in control of the game, it seemed. And now it's 9-all. Very deep return from MANARA, had Spain in trouble, and now they've got a game point, Brazil. Up goes the chant for SALMIN and GUARNIERI MANARA. Paulo SALMIN to serve. And there is the game. Second game to Brazil, first to Spain. So they've split the first two in this tie between Spain and Brazil. Men's doubles first of all, singles to follow.
Un poco. Ahora tú juegas contra el otro, ¿vale? Si podemos empezar otra vez a un poco más paralelo, ¿vale? Un poco mejor, ¿vale? Sí, no. Tú vas contra las Carrato.
Eu sei que você tem segurança.
Eu tô querendo dar um pouquinho mais perto do corpo, mais aqui.
Isso, tem segurança, mas a bola dele não vem, a bola dele cai. Você tem que aproximar.
Sim.
Certo? Sim. Voltando, você vai jogar no fora do VALERA, entendeu? Cuidado com a bola no fora do Morales, tá? Vai sair mais forte, vai sair mais forte.
Tío, la cara de perro, ¿vale? Yo creo que si jugamos bien, chupan. Vamos, venga.
No telling at this stage who might take this match. It's been very even. Little shifts of momentum. Favouring one team, then the other. Spain took the first game 12-10. They trailed early. Brazil 11-9 the second, but it almost slipped away from them. Turn from Morales was pretty special. Not one Brazil could handle. So from SALMIN. And VALERA with the telling return for Spain. You know, the signals under the table from the server to his teammate. Very much reminiscent of what you might see perhaps in beach volleyball. Just a slight advantage to be had in your teammate knowing what you're going to do with the serve, or at least try to do. Deep or shallow, what sort of spin you might be looking for, and then adjust where you expect to have to move. Spain taking forward the first 5 points though. So Guarnieri, Manara goes again. Guarnieri, Manara, pretty pleased with that. Took the serve and then he took the point. Alvaro, Valera, serving for Spain. Salmon receives. Oh, what a rally. Perhaps the best of the match, and Spain prevail. Guarnieri, Manara decided to go for the winner because his teammate was on the floor. Couldn't land it. 5-2 Spain. I think that's 6-2. Much needed point for Brazil. The game was slipping away from them at 7-2. 7-3 feels a little better. A couple more points needed. Get back into this game. So a little warning coming from referee about the serve from Spain. Guarnieri, Manara disappointed with himself. He's really gone for some big-time winners and has often been wide of the market. Wide of the market. Mark. Serve from Paulo Salmon now. Beg your pardon, Manara. Spain have got Brazil in plenty of trouble here at 10-4 up. Ready to take a 2-1 lead. Lots of game points to play with. But they only need one. An impressive third game from Spain's Alvaro Valera and Jordi Morales, limiting Brazil to just 4 points. Spain 2-1 up.
bola de vez.
Ellos dos, ¿vale? Zen es esto, buscamos más al cuerpo. Salmin con movimientos largos llega bien, pero estos pasos pequeños aquí es lo que le digo. Sí, cuando
Ele parece de back. Ele virou de back o Valera aqui já para receber o saque. Põe a curto para chamar ele pro jogo pro Paulinho deslocar ele. Tem que você vai levar, tá? Não é só jogar no erro que tá, né? Vamos lá, vamos lá. Mais leve, mano.
Spain to serve at the start of the fourth. There's the signal from Valera. He and Jordi Morales playing very well. Brazil with the advantage in mobility. Salmon, class 7. Manara, a class 8. For Spain, Morales a 7 and Valera a 6. That's the categories. And the impairment. Crucial for Brazil to take the first few points of this fourth game. They've done that. Given themselves a platform to level up at 2-all. Spain on the board now. They're capable of stringing good sections together, Spain. Not this time. Most consecutive points won in the match, though, that belongs to Salmon and Manara in the second game, which they won 11-9. They put 5 points back to back. Salmon gives the signal. Doesn't do them any good. Point to Spain, back to 1. Apology offered by Valera, who benefited from the net cord there. And 4-all. The early advantage wiped out for Brazil. Morales not handling the spin. Dumps that one in the net. Brazil back out by a couple. And 8-4 now. A few warning bells ringing on the Spanish side of the net. Looking likely that this one will go to a 5th game. Spain took the first 12-10, Brazil the second 11-9, Spain the third 11-4. They're in plenty of trouble now. Host nation hoping to extend it. Got a pocket full of game points, have Brazil. Salmon serve does it. And Brazil take the fourth, 11-4. Action about to resume in the Brazil-Spain tie. Men's doubles action. And we go to a fifth and deciding game. Paulo Salmon to serve. Morales sends it long. Lots of energy about the Brazilian pair as we go into this last game. Couple of great deep shots from the Spanish pair here. And Salmon couldn't handle the last of them. Not that that last return from Spain was especially deep, but the one before was one that really set it up for them, and they're out to a 3-1 lead now. Punishing shot from Morales. Spain back to their confidence that they showed in the first and third games. Better stuff from Brazil. Got the crowd behind them. The crowd's going to need to make some noise to get them back in front. Salmon and MANARA carrying the flag for Brazil. Valera and Morales for Spain. Valera to serve. The angle does it. Change of ends after 7 points in this one. Five 5-2 to Spain. Guarnieri Manara really put some work on that ball for Brazil. Manara serves. And sends that one too far, and 5-3 Spain. Morales is the one who goes for the walk to retrieve the ball. Across to Manara. His teammate gives a signal. Oh, a little bit fortunate for Spain, and they find themselves 4 to the good, courtesy of the net cord. Morales serves. Manara with another big left-handed smash and down the line, and Brazil hanging in there. Need to win at least 3 out of the next 4 points. Stay in it. Here's a good one. Manara is really stepping up. He's the highest classification of the 4 players out there, so he needs to take more than his share, really, as a class 8. Salmon playing very well, though, alongside him. For Valera and Morales. Eight 5 Spain. Edging closer to a win here. It's not just about your classification, though. It's about the skill at the table. Excellent point. Won by Brazil. Hanging in there. It's 6-8. Valera to serve for Spain, though. Timeout, with Spain leading 8-6 in the 5th.
Aquí, ¿vale? Pero sacamos así y después cuando tengamos bolas que clasificar, no pasa nada.
Vale, este é o Valera, tá? Saquinho chamando eles pra mesa, tá? Na hora de sacar. Vamos lá.
Venga, venga, confianza, vamos.
Serving at 8-6, Valera. Brazil a bit quick. Good to win that first point after the timeout. They're almost back on terms now. Valera to Manara. And that's just beyond the reach, really, of Valera. Couldn't get there with an effective bat on it. And they're back to 8-all. Who's it to be? 5th and final game, men's doubles. This is the class 6 to 8 part of the competition. And Brazil have got quite a run on here. That's 4 points in a row. And they're 2 from the match. Luiz MANARA to serve. Oh, but it is MANARA who puts it in the net. And Spain, 9-all. What a cracking match to start this tie between Spain and Brazil. Still got singles to come, of course. Entitled to go to the towel after every 6 points. Gives them an extra moment or two to think. Jordi Morales. And Spain with a match point. Both combinations throwing themselves at this match. Is this the last point? Morales to serve. It's too long. Off the racket of SALMIN, and Spain have done it. 11-9 in the 5th. What a great match. Really did have everything. And there was really no telling up until the last point who might win it. Spain the first 12-10, Brazil the second 11-9, Spain the third 11-4, Brazil the fourth 11-4, and it was Spain in a very tight 5th game, taking this one 11-9. Men's singles action to carry the tie through to the next stage. We've had the doubles go to Spain, and now we've got Israel STROH for Brazil stepping up to try to level the tie, taking on Alvaro VALERA in this singles clash. VALERA a class 6, and Israel STROH it's a class 7. Obviously then it's Israel STROH who really needs to win this match to keep the tie alive. His teammates Paulo SALMIN and Luiz MANARA fought a tremendous battle against Spain in the doubles, but Spain 11-9, so that means that STROH has got to find a way to win here against VALERA. Now he is the higher classification, and he did win the silver medal in the singles comp. So STROH has got a couple of things going for him here. Look about ready for a start. Israel STROH to serve. What'll be the tactics of VALERA? He's got to try and finish rallies early, I would think, because he's playing a man in the next his next classification who was one of the best in the world. So his tactics have got to be geared to the situation, the mobility of his opponent, and try to, okay. All sorted. 2-1 Spain. How often have we seen it in sport that when you're expected to win, it's actually a difficult thing to do? Particularly if your opponent is swinging freely, knowing he's not got much to lose. Spain have already won the doubles, have put themselves in a good position to perhaps win this tie. Brazil have thrown out their strongest singles player, and Israel STROH. STROH looks to test the reach and mobility of VALERA by playing to the edges and depth of the table. Of course, the risks are there. He could miss his target. And let's not underestimate the skills at the table of Alvaro Valera. And 7-3 to Valera. STROH having a good old chat to himself. Come on, get into this match. Got 2 silver medalists out there. Talking about the silver medal won by STROH in Class 7. Well, in Class 6, Valera got through to the gold medal match as well. And although he was beaten by Rosenmeyer of Denmark, went to 5 games. Another discussion about the serve, and STROH, although not involved in that discussion, has certainly been involved in some controversy about it in his gold medal match against Will Bailey of Great Britain. There are all sorts of moments that probably we shouldn't see at the top level of international sport. Got a bit feisty. Anyway, we're taking a break now. And that'll give everyone a chance to calm down, perhaps.
Dificuldade em ler o saque, entendeu? Esse saque tem que acompanhar um pouquinho, dar o tempo na bola, deixar a bola pingar e você tem que acelerar um pouquinho mais. Pulso e leva, não faz só pulso, entendeu? Esta primera,
¿vale? Con ritmo, ¿vale? Tú ya tienes este ritmo que le falta ahora, ¿vale? Tú ya tienes el ritmo, ¿vale? Seguimos igual, importante primeros puntos y después mantener la concentración, ¿vale? Seguimos igual.
Álvaro, tá? Esperar a bola não vai põe na direita que vai fazer ponto. Ele pega também, tá? Tem que ver onde ele tá. No meio, tá? Vamos começar melhor agora, tá?
Match to resume. (11-5) the first to Valera. So keep an eye on whether there is more discussion about who's serving and how. You can be sure that Valera would have known about the dispute in his opponent's match against the Englishman. So it's quite the talk around the table tennis. Could be the story running through the whole match. So now STROH shaking his head as if, well, is he suggesting that his opponent is doing the same thing? can be very distracting. Which player will handle it the best? Keep it out of their mind and just get on with the game. It did seem in STROH's match with Bailey that it totally took over the thinking of Bailey for a while, and he's lost his way through the match. He eventually won it. What a serve. And now STROH immediately turns to the umpire and saying, hey, he was around the corner with that one. I couldn't see it. So it gets very tough for the umpires to keep control of the match if the issue doesn't go away. And if every third or fourth point, the players are turning to them and say, hey, what's going on? Why aren't you stepping in? Ooh. And a bit of frustration for STROH there, a total miss-hit on the serve. (7-5) Spain. STROH seemed to be there. Bad timing and plenty of work on the ball from VALERA. First game, 5 minutes and 11-5 to VALERA. And 8-7, he's trying to dominate the table now. A few stairs, a bit more noise coming from STROH, who's back in this. That one slips under the racket of VALERA. He's got a good run happening here. VALERA serving at 8-9. He's got game points now, STROH. And only needs one of them.
Pone el brazo y está sacando uno.
Bueno, va. Es la hora que está sacando un poco más para la derecha. Entiendo que te está cargando más esta bola, ¿vale? Tú después mátalo a la zona de revés. Ya esta bola ya la pasas para la zona de revés. Si lo matas aquí la zona, ¿vale?
Só uma bloqueada para o back aqui para pegar desequilibrado. Não uma, duas aqui. É uma aqui, a segunda aqui na esquerda já. Tá? Deslocando ele aqui para vir depois no back dele. Tá? Esperando sempre a volta, sempre de olho.
A game apiece. First of the men's singles in this tie between Spain and Brazil. Very aggressive return from Valera. Lands in the point.
How is it possible that you are telling me and he's putting the arm and throwing from behind the hand? Main umpire, please. Main umpire. Don't continue.
Okay, this controversy isn't going away. He's just been called, Valera, for an illegal service action. Well, this is a really interesting moment in the match.
It's worse than me. I can't see his service, and he's complaining only about me. And he's putting the arm in front and it's serving from the body. So what is this? Only one player. He's from Brazil, so it's different rules. It's different rules. He's from... It's not no. It is happening. Something against me. And I saw him. I have a medical problem. I can't move my hand. It's trembling, and sometimes the ball does not go. And I have the card. You want to see the card? No, he doesn't know. Only talking to me and look at how he's serving. You want to watch his service? Because you're a supervisor. You want to supervise, please. Please, because it's not good. Okay.
I'll be very impressed if Valera is able to put this out of his mind while he tries to get on with the match. He feels he's being hard done by here, that if he's doing anything untoward, STROH is as well. Called over the main umpire. They've had a further discussion. Valera's had the opportunity to make his point. It's a game all, and he's serving at 1-2. Very close to it again. The difficulty for the umpire's side on is to guess what the player at the other end of the court can see. He's really at 90 degrees to where he needs to be, the umpire, in making the call. And that's why it's difficult, and that's why sometimes the players think the umpires are getting it wrong, because they're not looking at it from the same angle as the players are. And Brazil out to a 4-2 lead. STROH having plenty to say, a lot of it to himself. It's my guess that Valera is having trouble concentrating on the match now. And he's called him again.
So you don't want to play this match? You want to finish? So you want to finish this? This is what you want?
And now perhaps it's about the height that they're throwing.
Directly, and that's it.
How far did he throw the ball up here? Well, it certainly had the height required. It was just whether his opponent STROH had the opportunity to see the ball hit the bat. Is the arm in the way? Well, you can see from the body language of Valera that he's totally distracted by what's just happened. How could he not be? Having to have a long talk with the officials about the legality of what's happening with the serve of both men, but he's the one being called. He's got to make the adjustment. And this third game is getting right away from him very quickly. He needs the opportunity at the end of this game to try and calm down. He wins a point. And now it's game points for Israel STROH. And there didn't look to be too much effort in the last couple of points from Valera. He's totally put off his game by the controversy surrounding this match. STROH is not a stranger to it. This is a difficult one for the officials to deal with. And STROH dropped the first game, but now it's taken the second and third, 8-3. So what will be Valera's attitude? Does he feel like he's out of the contest? As much as he can. His only option really is to put it to one side, make sure he serves fairly, let the officials deal with it. Oh, that's just a ripper across court from STROH. Once the rally starts, no point making an issue of it. You've got to play at the table as best you can. Valera can just win 2 or 3 points in a row, get his focus back on the game. Perhaps he can challenge STROH. But all the momentum really is with the Brazilian. That one's long from STROH. In the previous game, STROH won 7 consecutive points. Great angle on the serve from STROH. No reaction from Valera. Great reach from STROH. For Valera. Valera upset with himself. Had an opportunity to extend the rally, put it long and perhaps wide as well. Timeout being called. Valera, it's Spain's timeout.
Y después que te cruza una, bueno, te la cruza, pero matas esta zona, ¿vale? Matas menos al revés, ¿vale? Entonces saca perdiendo con este. Sí, tranquilo, pásalo, que lo pases al revés, si él te lo pasa para tu revés.
Every sport has its controversial or disputable rules, if you like. For the moment, the serving controversy seems to be to one side. STROH continues at 6-5. And Valera not able to deal with the spin from STROH that time. And he's close to taking the match now. Two points from it. Will there be a handshake? Don't worry about that for the moment as Valera wins a good rally. He'll serve at 7-9. Match points for STROH. One saved. Quick towel down. And Valera back out to face the music. Anxious coach. Thinks he needs a word with his charge here. He was leading 10-7. He's hoping that this time out will just give STROH the opportunity to compose himself for the 1 point he needs to level the tie at 1-1. So I think we've got a little bit of a tightness in the back, perhaps, from STROH. He took a few seconds out before a point late in this fourth game and apologised to his opponent for the delay. So he might be taking a bit more time here. There's a medical.
I need to tell these people. How long do you need? I had a problem in my how long do you think you need?
What a time to take the medical time out at match point. So what's going to happen here? As if we haven't had enough drama in this match. Well, he's going to battle on. He may not have to do it for long. He just needs to win the next point, and it's all over. There have been distractions everywhere for VALERA. It's STROH. Well, it's on his racket. One good serve. And that's all it took. VALERA turns around, says he did it again. Well, they did manage to shake hands. STROH prevails and will go to a deciding singles match to sort this one out between Brazil and Spain. In a very frosty atmosphere. But STROH has won it. 5-11, 11-8, 11-3, 11-9. About to start the warm-up for the third match of this tie between Spain and Brazil. It's had a little bit of everything, certainly some quality play and certainly some stuff worth talking about if you like drama around your table tennis. The STROH VALERA match will attract some column inches, I think, in newspapers and around the social media. Everyone will have an opinion, I'm sure. Table tennis world. Don't have to worry about that at the moment as Jordi Garcia warms up against Paulo SALMIN. Jordi. He says Morales on the back of his shirt, so perhaps for the sake of the clarity of the call, we'll say Morales rather than Morales Garcia. Jordi Morales is from Barcelona. He's 30 years of age. Ended up fourth in the Class 7 singles competition. Set to go. Both men are Class 7 athletes. We've got the tie sitting at a match apiece. We've got relationships between Spain and Brazil being tested around the table tennis table. Almost catching the edge of the table. That one from Morales. Well, Salmon gave Morales a forehand to swing at with a bit of room. Morales took it. So 4-2 to Spain. First game. An apology from Salmon, of course. That one just dribbled over the net after hitting the top of the net. Vamos, calls Morales after he takes himself to a 5-3 lead. Salmon fooled by the bounce and spin. Salmon not the most vocal at the table. Getting a bit of noise from Morales. He's leading 6-4. A bit of concern now on the face of Salmon with his opponent. He's 4 points from taking the first game. And the serve is with Morales. Smarter point from Salmon, mixing it up, working the angles. Got a mistake on the forehand from Morales. He's lost 2 points on serve, Salmon 3. Climbing back into it, Salmon. He's played a good ball down the line here to finish the rally. There it is. Went for it early and missed the table. Nice and deep. Oh, Salmon's on impressive run here. That's 5 points in a row. He's in big trouble early on in this game. Fortunate there, Morales. Good use of the width of the table from Morales. He dragged Salmon one way then the other. He's got himself back to 9 all. But now it's game point for Salmon. Short ball set up. Salmon didn't miss his opportunity to take it and give himself another look at a game point. First game going 7 minutes so far. That's all there'll be though. Hits the top of the net and goes beyond the table. And Brazil, 12-10.
Perquè el tio et juga una mica aquí, a vegades, vale? Però es canvia.
Não precisa querer fazer pivô. Vai esperando ele colocar uma bola mais no meio pra você virar, tá? Vamos lá, tá certinho. Vambora, vambora.
Start of the second game. Deciding match of this tie between Spain and Brazil. Morales serving to Salmon. These two look really well matched. Smash pushed long by Salmon. 2-1 Morales. Well, a very accommodating net cord there for Salmon. Just made it over. Oh, very crisp. He's running on confidence now. A couple of superb shots from Paulo Salmon. And 4-2. A little bit glum in the Spanish camp. Down a game and 5-3. Salmon was 9th in singles in London, 5th in Beijing. Been around a while. That was at the World Championships, I beg your pardon, at Beijing 2014, not the Beijing Olympics. World Championships 5th in singles and 5th in the team event. But he did win the Para Games in Toronto last year in his classification. And 7-4. Starting to assert himself in this match. He would only have been 18, Salmon, when he played in London. Brazilian team in that competition finished 9th. But that was a class 9-10 competition, and he is a class 7 player. So it would have been challenging couple of matches for him in the team competition. Morales back to 7-8. Just kept chipping away at the forehand side of Morales, did Salmon. He's close to taking this second game. Well, Morales not going away here. It looked to be Salmon's game a few points ago. He's rallied nicely and he's still in it, Jordi Morales. Towel down at 9-all. Morales not able to handle that one, and it's game point for Salmon. For 2-love lead. Just got a little bit defensive there. He's been so aggressive. It's his first look at game point. Oh, I hope he makes a mistake rather than I'm going to go out and win this. No mistake from Morales. Now, it's game point to Spain. Oh, Morales was keeping that very deep. Salmon saw the door open, and he's got another look at the game point. Just wants the table wiped down. Not much moisture there for him to take care of it, so the umpire will come out and do the honours. See if Salmon goes aggressive here. Plenty of support for him. Again, he was forced to just block it back and didn't do much with it. 12 all. Salmon. And get the glasses cleaned. A little bit excitable, Salmon. Coach just trying to calm him down, perhaps. He's at game point here, Salmon, 13-12. So we've had the timeout at game point. Salmon looking to close it out right now. Can't do it. He's looking for a 2-games-to-love lead. Morales for the fortunes of Spain. Really wants to level it at 1-all. (14-13). Morales throws a despairing arm in the direction of the net and the table. Table tennis gods seem to be against him. Well finished. Game point to Morales. Morales does it quite simply in the end. Well, a very strange conclusion to that second game. Salmon had his opportunities. Morales a bit more clinical. Takes it 16-14. Third game underway. Paulo Salmon. Salmon has to rid himself of the thought that really he could have and perhaps should have taken that second game. Had chances. Reminding you of the tie situation between Spain and Brazil. Spain took the doubles, 11-9 in the fifth, in a cracking encounter. Both these men were involved. Then Israel STROH for Brazil, who wasn't in the doubles, came out and won his singles match against VALERA. Controversial one it was too. All sorts of toing and froing about who was serving illegally. And STROH prevailed in the end. Needed a little bit of a medical attention on match point and then won it. So that presents us with this scenario where Spain and Brazil go to a third match. It's the second of the singles. And well, the whole tie couldn't be tighter, could it? 1-1 and 3-1 in the deciding match. Well, Salmon turning defense into attack. Both games so far going to extra points. 12-10 the first to Salmon, 16-14 to Morales the second. Very well matched. Rueful look from Morales there as he towels down after 12 points. 8 of them going to Brazil, though. He's got his tail up, as Paulo SALMIN. Likes to play quickly when he's on a run. Another let. Plenty of game points for SALMIN. Surely he won't let all these go. Learned his lesson from the previous game. 1 saved. And 2. You wouldn't know it was game points against him the way Morales is playing. Quite casual and quick. Missed one. And there is the error that SALMIN was waiting for, and that's an 11-6 third game to him.
Para buscar a paralela de fora aqui, aí já é. Aí não volta, entendeu? Tá? Mas seguro, tá? Balançando, pela volta. Vamos jogar o tênis mesmo, tá? Pouco a pouco.
Fourth game, pressure on Morales now, with SALMIN leading 2-1. Reminding you, this is the match that will decide the tie between Spain and Brazil. Oh, that's a rally. SALMIN's pumped. It's good to win the long ones. Catches the long ball. He's made the best possible start to this fourth game. And a timeout. The Spanish coach doesn't like what he sees.
Jordi, vamos.
Jordi Morales and Paulo SALMIN back at the table. Almost. Now Paulo's there. And he leads in the fourth. 3-love. Morales looks out of sorts. He's wondering what he can do here. Salmon runs on confidence. And at 5-love, he's got every reason to be confident. There's STROH on the left, a controversial figure from the previous singles. Mistake on serve. Finally allows Morales a point. He didn't have to do anything. He shoots the most unusual looks. Does Jordi Morales? He looked like he surprised himself by winning a point. But now he's only 4 from the match, Salmon, and 4 from winning the tie. Too long. Mini comeback being staged now by Morales. He's got to maintain it though. He's in all sorts of trouble. Salmon goes to the towel. He's entitled to after 12 points. Salmon the only one exercising that option though. Morales stays at the table. Couple from Morales. Well, Salmon's just retreated to this kind of counter-punching play that he can be guilty of towards the end of a game where he's in front. He's waiting for a mistake from Morales rather than being assertive. Let's see if he changes his mind here. Well, he did, but he missed. So he's gone from 8-4 to 8-all. Almost a smirk there from Morales. This has all turned around quite nicely, but there's still work to be done. The aggressive attitude that is so successful for Salmon early in the game just deserts him when the finish line's in sight. So now he's behind. What a change over this fourth game. So Morales has won the last 6 points. And Spain take the fourth game Well, that's an amazing turnaround by Morales. SALMIN went right into his shell. It'd be too strong to say SALMIN surrendered that fourth game, but his change of tactics and looking for the mistakes from Morales simply didn't work.
Olhar, finalizar, pô. Entendeu? Busca, pô.
Vou trocar a camiseta para dar uma esfriada.
Looks like Paulo SALMIN's going for a comfort stop, so a slightly longer delay between the fourth and fifth games here. It's been a fine old battle, this one. I think we've deserved it after the way this tie has ebbed and flowed. Spain winning the doubles, Brazil the first of the singles, and we'll go to a fifth game in the deciding match. SALMIN closest to camera. Morales to receive. It's 8 points in a row he's lost, SALMIN, including the last 7 of the previous. There we go, finally. Morales looked quite despondent halfway through the fourth game. He just hung in there, really, and that's all you can do, and see if your opponent lets you back in. Well, that's exactly what SALMIN did. SALMIN hoped, assumed, that Morales would make enough mistakes for him to win. Didn't happen. So now here we are in the fifth game. Morales ends up on the floor. That's all right. He leads 3-2. really went for plenty there. He said, oh, that must have been close. 3-all. He's got a great range of expressions, Jordi Morales. I don't think he'd be a tremendous poker player. His thoughts aren't far from his face. Going for the very edge of the table. 3-4. And a gesture of apology for his good fortune. Morales, 4-all. You just hope when you get to match point that it's not a net cord perhaps that decides it. You get plenty of them across a long match, and this has certainly been one. So already we've had a couple of lead changes. Now a change of ends. At 4-5. Oh, again, he was maybe just looking for the edge of the table and asked himself the question, what you were thinking. Morales looks to be the more aggressive of the two. Salmon's got to find his old game again. Served him so well in the third game, which he won 11-6. Morales just walks a little circle. Has a smile. He's still got a 1-point lead. He needs 4 for the game, the match, and the tie. Make that 3. Will he stay aggressive? He's trying to, but it was a good reply from Salmon. Very deep. There's a mistake. Salmon thinks his patience is finally being rewarded. He put some good work on the ball, and the reply from Morales just long. 8-all, 2 games all, 1 match all. Oh, he could be upset there, Morales. Why the need for the chat? He's just won the point. Likes to go for a walk and a talk. Oh, miss-hit. Every time something goes wrong, he immediately turns to his coach for some kind of support. Oh. Salmon, meanwhile, hanging in there. Salmon's made a couple of mental errors in the match, allowed Morales back in. Match point for Spain. Don't think about the pressure, it's huge. Oh, and Spain have won it. He's hit that long, the Brazilian, and what a mighty tie. The crowd noiseless. They've watched an amazing tie between Brazil and Spain have won it. And he's crushed Paulo Salmon. But 11-9, Morales has won this at times extremely controversial tie. So Spain winning the doubles. STROH beat Valera in the first of the singles to put Brazil back in it. Salmon looks around. He sent that ball long. Can't believe it. And both men fall to the floor. So here we have it. 11-9 in the fifth. Jordi Morales Garcia over Paulo Salmon. And it's Spain 2-1.